Buddy, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 95. In this lesson, we will introduce the student to the second sound of OU. Let's begin by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, and if your student has finished all 160 words, then you can move on to the top 290 sight word list, which you can find on the flyingcatacademy.com website. Go to the guided reading section and you'll find two subpages, and you want the one called Extra Resources. You'll need the teacher instruction sheet for the sight word study method and the student's sight word card pack. In addition, you'll need some blank cards, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. For the visual drill and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the student's card pack. We'll have a blending drill today, so you should have this one set up and ready to go on the table. And if not, then I will provide it in the lesson as well. Then moving on, we'll have the magnetic letter tile drills for reading and spelling. You'll need the teacher instruction sheets and the cookie sheet with the letters spread in a rainbow shape for the student. You'll need the Scooping Syllables worksheet or instruction sheet, the new phoneme grapheme kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for the lesson. In addition, you will have two sliders that you've made, and you'll have those set up on the table. Sliders are a great way to review word families quickly. I will include that in the lesson, though, if you don't have it set up. And in addition to all of that, you might have a timer on the table, and you'll need to do this if you've introduced the fluency element, which you must do at some point. And you'll need a secondary program to do that. Let's do the sight word study method. Student, I'd like you to take out your sight word card pack right now and read through every word in your pack. When you read a word correctly, you'll put a check in the corner of the card. When you're finished, you'll hand your card pack to your teacher, and then it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher reads through every card, and student, you will write down the words. When you write a word correctly, then use the other corner of the card and put a check mark. After you're finished, have a quick discussion about which of those words has been mastered. The mastered words will be removed from the card pack. This leaves space for introducing new sight words. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. Student, could you please take out your colored tiles? Your word is met. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I met him at the train station. Now I'd like you to build the word met with your colored tiles. And then tap it and say it. Okay, do you have 3 tiles down and they're all different colors? If you do, that's right. Okay, I would like you to find the t in met. Change the t into a n. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say that your new word is men? The men were out having a talk at the end of the driveway? If you did, that's right. Okay, find the e in men. Now change the e into a oo. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say moon? If you did, that's right. The moon was high in the sky. Okay, find the in moon and change the into a k. And what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you say coon? A raccoon was in the tree near my house. Okay, find the oo in coon and change the oo into an oi. Now tap it and say it. Did you say coin? If you did, that's right. A dime is a coin. Okay, great job. You can put your tiles away. Let's do the visual drill. Student, what sound does this one make? Did you say ow? If you did, that's right. Teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. Now let's do the auditory drill. Student, can you say qu? Okay, now what's the grapheme for qu? Write it down, and as you write it down, say qu again. And when you're finished, underline it and say the sound again. Then we'll check your work. Did you say QU makes qu? It's that k sound of the K and the w sound of the W, qu, as in quick. Okay, teacher, do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way. It's time for the blending drill. And your teacher might have this one all set up and ready to go on the table for you. This is the drill where you tap it and say it, and then your teacher changes the card and a new word is revealed, and on you go with your tapping and saying. If your teacher has this ready to go, you can just press pause on the video here and do the drill. And if not, then just continue playing the video and I'll provide it here. Let's do some syllable pounding. Student, your word is goodness. Can you repeat that? I might say there was a lot of goodness in that little puppy. How many syllables are in the word goodness? If you want, you can put your hand under your chin and say the word, and your chin will hit your hand every time a syllable happens, and so you can just count the number of hits. Or you can stretch out your arm and say the word, and tap your arm, and every time you tap, that's for one syllable, and you'll let your fingers shoot out. So let's see. Goodness. I have 2 in that one. Okay, how about this one? Outside. How many syllables? Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. I hear the ow in out and the I inside. Okay, teb. Not a real word. How many syllables? Teb. I only hear 1. It's the eh. Okay, try this one. Playfulness. Can you repeat that word? How many syllables are in playfulness? Playfulness. I hear 3 in that one. Okay, it's time to do some scooping syllables on your worksheet. So take out your worksheet now, and teacher, you can take out the answer sheet. And student, as you're working through the different scooping of the different words, I'd like you to discuss your thinking. We're going to practice adding suffixes to bases that are of different syllable types. And you have 2 worksheets that you can use to do this. But teacher, you are aiming to have at least 1 of each syllable type to get work done. And student, remember, talk through your thinking. It's super important. In our last lesson, you were introduced to a new vowel diphthong, OU. Can you tell your teacher, what sound does OU make? Did you say ow? If you did, that's right. There's a really common family, and it's the OUT family. Can you tap and say this word? That word is out. Out. I will go out the door. And this OUT pattern is very common. It happens in pout, shout, spout, lots of words. And there's another common family that we learned about, the OUND family. Ound, as in round, pound, sound, lots of words do that. We're going to review the OUT family and the OUND family by doing sliders. This is a nice quick way to read through many of the words that use these families. If your teacher has this one ready to go on the table, then you can pause the video now and do the sliders. And if not, then I'll provide them here. let's move on to the new content for today's lesson. And as always, we'll start with what we know. So here's OU. What sound does OU make? Did you say ow? If you did, that's right. And that happens very commonly in the OUT family. So that word is out. So now let's go into new territory because there is a second sound that OU can make. It often makes ow, but there are a few situations where it says ooh. Can you say that? Ooh. And it does that in this very common word. So let me just get that so you can see it. There it is. So now I'd like you to tap these two graphemes, the y and the oo, and tell me what that word is. Did you say you? So you can hear the y and then you hear the oo very clearly in that word. Here's another one where that happens. I'll just add a th to the end of you. And what's my new word? Youth. Youth. Someone who is young has youth. There's only a few words where this situation is happening where the OU is making the oo sound rather than the ow sound. And so I made a sentence to help us remember this. And I'll put this sheet up here, and I'd like you to grab the sheet because you have it as well. And you're going to remember the following sentence. You can take the youth group through this route. I'm thinking now I would be like a tour guide and we'd be on a bus and we'd be going through some crazy route in a city. Who knows what you're thinking in your mind? And so say that sentence with me. You can take the youth group through this route. And circle all the words in that sentence. Like you can see that the sentence is right on your page there. Circle all of the words where you see the OU. In every case in this sentence, the OU is making the oo sound. So you'll circle the word you. What else will you circle? Here, I'll just add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 5 words that are going to get circled. And these are the 5 common words that are using that oo sound for OU. Okay, now the task is I would like you to use your imagination, and it's going to be as crazy as you want. I want you to illustrate what is the picture that comes to your mind when you hear that sentence. You can take the youth group through this route. Okay, make that picture now, and then come back to me. Do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. You'll need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape for this one. Your sound is shh. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Can you say ow? Now find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Can you say t? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you say the word is shout? I will shout hello from the top of the mountain. So I would spell this one S-H-O-U-T. Now take away the sh from shout, and what are you left with? Did you say out? If you did, that's right. Okay, put those tiles back, and let's get ready for a new word. Your sound is y. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Can you say ooh? Now find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. Tap it and say it. Did you spell this one Y-O-U and say the word was you? You are very nice. If you did, that's right. Okay, now I'd like you to add th to the end of you. Can you say that sound? Th. Now find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. And tap and say your new word. Did you say this word was youth? And that means that you are young. Y-O-U-T-H. If you did, that's great. Teacher, if there's more time, you can do more words in this way, and if not, then move on to the single word list, and then the short story, and then you'll add the fluency element. Now let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. You'll need your cookie sheet with your letters spread in a rainbow shape for this one. Your word is coin. Can you repeat that word? I can say a penny or a dime. Each one of those is a coin. Okay, what's the first sound that you hear in coin? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in coin? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in coin? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you spell this one C-O-I-N? If you did, that's right. When we hear that oi sound and we hear it in the middle of a word, we'll use O-I. Okay, put those tiles back. Your word is cook. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will cook some vegetables for my stir fry. All right, what's the first sound that you hear in cook? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in cook? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in cook? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you spell this one C-O-O-K? If you did, that's right. When the O-O is followed by a K, it often turns into that sound. It stops saying its normal oo sound. It says which is what it's doing in cook. Okay, great job. Put those ones back. And your word is group. Can you repeat that word? I might say the youth group went through this route. Group. What's the first sound that you hear in group? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in group? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in group? Find the correct tile or tiles and pull them to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in group? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it. Did you spell this one G-R-O-U-P? If you did, that's right. Okay, I would like you to take out your lined paper and a pencil, and we're going to work on writing some single words. I'll say the word and you repeat it. And when you repeat it, I'd like you to then tap out each sound that you hear in the word and say it as you do it. Then say the whole word and write it down. Your first word is you. Can you repeat that? Now what sounds do you hear in you? Say the whole word and write it down. And then we'll check your work. Did you spell this one Y-O-U? If you did, that's right. Here's your next word. Out. Can you repeat that word? Okay, tap it, say it, write it down. Did you spell this one O-U-T? If you did, that's right. Here's your next word, shout. Can you repeat that word? Okay, now I want you to tap it, say it, write it down. And then we'll check it. Did you spell it S-H-O-U-T? If you did, that's right. Here's your next word, round. Can you repeat that? I could say the ball was round. Tap it, say it, write it down. Did you spell this one R-O-U-N-D? If you did, that's right. Okay, it's time for some sentences. So teacher, you will read all 3 sentences and the student will choose 2 that will be written. Student, after you write your sentence, make sure you check your work with CHOPS. Let's do a quick review before you go. Student, I would like you to write down the 2 different ways that you know to write oi. Can you say that sound? Oi. As in toy or coin. Write them down now. Did you say OI and OY are the 2 ways to make oi? Now circle The one that will happen when you hear oi at the end of a word. Which spelling will you use then if the oi is at the end, as in toy or boy? Did you say oy? If you did, that's right. We have learned about 2 sounds that OU can make. Student, what are the 2 sounds of OU? Did you say ow and oo, as in out and you? If you did, that's right. There's a second way that we've learned to write oo, which happens in boo. And that is, tell your teacher if you know which one that is. That's the OO. So we've learned 2 ways now that you can write oo. We know that the words that are the common ones for OU because we have our sentence that we're going to use to remember them. Can you tell your teacher the sentence about the youth group? Okay, you can take the youth group through that route. Okay, great job. That is the end of lesson 95. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy.